All right. That's fine. Oh. Excuse me while I get dressed.
You've had a busy couple of 3 days here. Did you sleep any, or you just kept writing agendas and notes? Are you recording it?
Yes. By the way, I started to reply to your reply about Felicia's questions, and I'll continue to do that. But I think that the bylaws are cast in concrete. There is no change to be made to anything.
Okay.
No matter what
I'm good with
Felicia
that.
wants or anybody else wants. And
But I think we can answer most of her questions.
Oh yeah, I think we can answer all of them.
Okay.
And I agree with you on a lot of them, and I'll reply.
Well, and if you don't agree, it's okay too. I mean, I just, that's my first shot at it, and I thought, yeah, I'll see what.
Well, a lot of these things, I'm not sure that there's a right answer. There's a, you know, this is the way it looks to me kind of answer.
Yeah.
But I think we need to be clear that we are not soliciting their suggestions.
Changes. Yeah.
We're soliciting their questions about
what they
already say.
Yeah.
And
that's good. And safety can be under one of the existing 9, I think. Don't you?
It is.
Is it? Okay, she said she couldn't see it, and I didn't look at the list, so I just said, you know, we might think about that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of, you know, one of the functional areas is health and wellness. Oh, safety and preparedness. Yeah, that's right. Okay. One of the functional areas is safety and preparedness. So,
okay.
So that's.
I wonder why she didn't get that. Okay.
It's there.
All right. No problem. Better answer than mine. Hi, Mayo. Hey, Judy. Hi, Louise.
Well, hello.
Recurring link, Paul. I may have asked you that before. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, say again?
This is a recurring link?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
I sent it out a few minutes ago just in case somebody didn't have it.
I didn't look
but
at
it's the same link that we've used, I think, for the last 8 months.
Oh, okay. Well, I did copy it once. I just want to notate that.
Well, I appreciate it being sent out. Then I don't have to try to remember where I put it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think it's a good idea to send it out just in case.
I put it on my calendar.
Well, oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, just FYI, we are recording this. So watch your language.
Dang it.
And be careful who you're talking about.
Yes. Steve.
Well, Beth will not be with us today.
She's orienting her new person.
Yeah, I don't know that there's much that involves her here anyway.
No, and I told her, she wondered about minutes, and I told her that a lot of what we were talking about was decisions hadn't been made, so there was no point in creating minutes until we make some firm decisions, and I think today's the day. Anyway, 2:59.
And Byron. Who else is there? Cindy.
Susan. Is Susan coming?
Susan, yes. Okay.
Mayo, will you
Andrew.
take notes of who's here, and
Sure.
and I'll take some notes as well. Okay, looks like a full house. We have a lot to get accomplished in an hour. Hi, everybody. Full agenda. The first item on the agenda can go very quickly. I met with Nora. It has to do with the Harvest Grill mixer. I met with Noreen today. They were thrilled with the whole event. It went fine. They'd like to do it again on September 19th. Venue to be decided. And as I indicated in a previous email, I understand if the bylaws people are too busy to be involved, but we will need a small core of people to do the randomizing, either the way we did it before or to find another way. So any comments or volunteers about that?
I did.
I'll help with the randomizing. I don't know how you did it, but I'll figure it out.
Okay,
I'll be out of town for a couple of weeks right ahead of that, so I can't help this time.
okay. We don't need a lot of people. I think Susan may help as well. Since she's not here, I'm going to volunteer her.
That'll learn her.
She's probably
Okay.
just walking from the pool.
And if we need anybody else, I will reach out and commandeer folks. And I hope after one more go at this, we can hand this over to some other group of people yet to be decided. Oh, she also said that if we talked about having additional dining outside, which could add as many as 40 more people. And I think we do some heavy outreach this time to the new people. Any comments on that?
Is the weather still reliable?
Middle of September should be. We'll see, play it by ear. All right. The bylaws rollout. I'm going to hand this over to the four folks who are planning that. We've got a couple of specifics, the content, cover sheet, the dispersal, whether digital or paper, and recording and availability. And I'm sure you have some other things to discuss. So take it away.
Well, I'll start out by recapping what's going to happen this week. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we are doing a Zoom session just for council members, which will be sort of a dress rehearsal for the public rollout on Friday. Jerry is going to kick both of them off, which is great. So he'll sort of set the stage. Then the plan is that Marilyn will do an introduction about sort of addressing the question of why do we need to change the bylaws at all. I will do a quick overview of 4 major changes that are in the proposed bylaws. And then the 4 members of the bylaws team will take questions from tomorrow from the counselors, and then on Friday from, we hope, the hundreds of people who show up at the PAC. Oh, here comes, oh, but this is Susan.
Are they still getting brownies?
Yes.
Good. Gotta tell them in a more prominent way.
Brownies and cookies and iced tea and lemonade.
All right.
We haven't talked about this, but maybe we should generate some buzz on RV chat just to remind people.
Good idea.
Yes, excellent idea.
So if somebody's, I can start it and then other people just chip in over the days and, okay.
Good. Okay, I think we've got the content of these down pretty pat. Felicia sent me some questions, which I shared with the other people on the team, which I sort of encouraged her to do because I thought it would be nice to get some idea of what kind of questions we're going to get. I was, I guess, a little bit surprised that there's sort of nitpicky questions, and none of them really had to do address substantive changes that have been made. So we probably want to be prepared for that kind of question tomorrow and again on Friday.
Can you give us an example, Paul?
I can. First of all, she did her questions by articles and sections. Of course, I haven't got those memorized, so I had to look them all up. This is Article 4, Section 1, which it's the long ones.
Do you have it in front of you? I can read it if you'd like.
I've got it in an article. Article 4 is about association meetings, and Section 1 is about the purpose of association meetings. Shall be any combination of the following: elect a vice chair, approve bylaws, conduct any other business as determined by the chair. Felicia's question is, what about approving procedures? Well, okay. Seems to me that's covered by any other business. But she seemed to feel it was important to ask that question. And a number of her other questions are similar to that. So that may be the kind of questions that we're going to get.
I think this points to the need for you to say, we are not tinkering with these. These are the result of an awful lot of tinkering. And any questions, anything, yeah, just make that point so that questions need to be about the substance presented.
Yes, in fact, I think maybe I should start off by saying we are not soliciting your suggestions. We're asking for questions about the bylaws as they stand. They are not going to change. Something,
Half of them at least will pick up their brownie and leave. Just kidding. Go ahead.
well, then I hope they enjoy the brownie.
Well, no, I think there's a rationale we can offer that this, in the short time of 6 weeks, we're probably going to hold a half a dozen, Q&A meetings. And if we change something in it from the first meeting and then change something from the fourth meeting, and the people in the first meeting don't know what the change is. So it's not feasible at this point. And if there are people that have serious objections, they can vote against it, or they can bring it up next year as a revision proposal.
So
It's a functional problem and not correcting it this time.
So what kinds of questions are we allowing? That's just the logical next step. If we're going to be denying anything, but
I don't think we should refuse any question.
Isn't she just asking a question? Or is she asking to change things?
Well, I think we want to make it very clear that if you're trying to change things, that's not going to happen now. But we can make the point that there's no prohibition against doing another revision next year.
Maybe she was just asking Robert's rules.
Paul, can you put that document up so they can see it? She has 10 items. And what strikes me is they are all particular referring to sections and articles and subsections. If we're going to try and answer those kind of questions, we may have to limit it to ones that are, that we can easily access, but make some kind of commitment to answering them in writing or something later, because they are they're thoughtful questions. They have a right to be answered. But I can't see how we're going to be able to answer these kind of questions, especially the quantity of them. Say these came from 10 different people. I mean, we're going to have to be up there flipping through our bylaws and finding the articles, and then, hopefully we remember, what the rationale was for why we did it or something. It's a different level of questioning than I think we as a foursome had anticipated. But
I think it's gratifying that she was going to pay that kind of attention
absolutely
to our work. But specifically, I would invite her to be on the committee in a year who's going to do the review, because that kind of nitpicky stuff at least deserves her similar attention if she's going to give it.
Well, and I think to me, if there's a large quantity of this, that we may have to say, we will get back after this meeting and answer these questions in writing and send out the answers.
It's unlikely that many people will have Felicia's style, because she's exhibited this kind of style of asking questions at every meeting, or most every meeting she's been to. So it's just the way she operates.
Which I think is fine.
Maybe it's up to you, Jerry, in your introduction to say, these bylaws have been vetted by 8 to 10 people, and it's an up or down issue. And
they don't want to hear any more suggestions. So just put your brownie in your mouth and shut up.
Well, guys, what about questions along the lines of, why did you change this? Why do you think it'll be better?
That absolutely would be able to answer that.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's kind of difficult for me to put clearly that we're not going to take questions that cause rewriting. Maybe that would be the way to go at it. Just say, we're not intending to rewrite this document. We'd like to explain parts of it if you have questions. Does that work?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All I have to do is
Well-
remember what I just said.
You can also say this has been run by and approved by the executive council. Executive,
There you go. There you go.
I mean, that,
The heavy hand of the executive committee.
the executive committee, yeah, has read it, reviewed it and approved it.
How about recommended? It might be better than approved because, you know, they don't approve it in the bylaws. So I'd say
Okay.
it recommends.
Well, and hopefully the resident council will recommend too, but that'll be after the meeting, so.
Right.
This will be also the group, at this point, the first group that has been given it before the meeting. And if there are others like Felicia who read it carefully, there will be a different kind of question than coming from the large group on Friday who won't have seen it yet.
That's true.
Because these questions are entirely different from what I would expect to get from the large group. Did you want to put that up, Paul, so they could see it? Or maybe you don't want to take the time with it.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't linger too much on
Yeah.
this once we've figured out a way to handle it.
Yeah,
Well,
let's-
we gave it to Jerry.
Yeah. It's handled. So yeah, you can move on. Don't hang on for my benefit.
How do you feel though about our saying that if there are questions that we can't for time or, just speediness of getting through, giving everybody a chance, that we will hold those questions and answer them in writing?
Well, that isn't what I was gonna say.
Oh, good.
What I was gonna say was, we're not rewriting this. The purpose of these questions is to clarify for you various points that have already been written. And if there's anything that looks like it's going to take a long time to answer, we'll do it in writing for the purpose of getting through all the questions.
Okay, and another one of her questions was Article 6, Section 2. The council is, quote, responsible for resolving resident concerns. What is the definition of resolving in this context? That's
Oh, come on.
what? I don't think that's the way to answer her. That's why I'm saying that there may be
Why
I-
don't we, tomorrow is the test run. Why don't we deal with these questions tomorrow
Okay,
or as a follow-up?
I think we can handle.
I think in
that one.
general, the
Yeah.
answer to that question is the word in the bylaws is resolving or resolved or whatever
It
it
means
is.
whatever I want it to mean.
Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, my interpretation is that means concluded to the satisfaction of the people involved.
No, fix it if we can, and if we can't, we can't. I mean, that's resolved. Sometimes you can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
Well, it actually comes to more than that, and that's the problem with getting into details. Because one of the other options is to refer it to somebody who can resolve it. For instance, administration. But those kind of answers can just go on and on
okay,
as you
let's
think of
leave
other
this.
things.
Let's leave this for tomorrow. We could imagine 15 more questions, but that we don't have time to address today. Paul, do you have other things under the September 2 rollout?
I guess the other thing is that both of these are going to be recorded. And the idea is that the recording of tomorrow will be made available to the counselors. Both those who are there and those that are at least some who won't be able to make it tomorrow, and they'll be able to see it. And then the Friday meeting will be made available to the whole world.
And where are they going to be?
And yes, that's the question.
I would like to suggest.
My thought, I guess, is that we make, I mean, I've got a the hell is it called?
Wait, if we put them up on the usual channel we use and only give the link to the people who we want to be able to see it, I
Yeah,
think Steve and I are the only ones who actually post stuff on that channel, then, I think that would be confidential enough.
for tomorrow's session. Yes, I think.
Yeah,
that's
or
right.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's not that
Well,
complicated.
Fridays, can we post Fridays to our villagers so that,
You can put it on the same channel and send out the link to everybody, or put the link in an article on our villagers or whatever you want.
okay, all right.
Okay, but that's for the people who are computer literate. What about the ones who can just read print?
Well, we're talking about a recording, Jerry.
Yeah,
So if you're talking about a video recording and you can't deal with a computer, I don't know how you're going to access it.
okay. Just pointing it out, others will point it out as well.
You ask your buddy to show it to you.
Yeah.
Well,
They can
yeah.
come and listen in person, and that's, I guess, the alternative.
Okay. Good answer.
The plan for releasing the bylaws to the world is that they will be uploaded to the resident council section of Touchtown with a link, which we will then send out via PBX on Friday so that everybody can access them that way. And then alternatively, for those who don't get PBXs and whatnot, we'll have hard copies available through resident services for them, and presumably have a couple of hard copies sitting in the library in the lobby marked, please leave here, or something to that effect, so that people can look at them.
Is there a reason not to post them on our villagers as well?
No, there's not. No, we can certainly do that.
Are you saying the bylaws won't be distributed at all until Friday morning?
I beg your pardon?
Are you saying the bylaws will not be distributed for viewing before Friday morning?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because of the kind of questions we just got from Felicia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's true.
It's to give the
You know,
opportunity
if
to
we-
describe them from a top-down point of view before you get into the detail. I think is the idea.
Yeah,
What I've been saying to people is it's a complicated document with a lot of details. And what we want to do is give you an overview and some guidelines as to what the major changes are, so that you can read it
Right.
in an informed way and you don't get lost in the details.
Yeah. So now I guess I was mixed up. I thought this was being released after our presentation, but you're going to do it morning day of?
Yeah, we had talked about it right after.
Well,
We had, yes,
Yeah,
going out on a PBX at 5 o'clock.
yes.
okay.
Why shouldn't they have it on the day of, though? You think they're gonna read it real fast and come to all kinds of weird conclusions?
could
Well,
be.
how many
Well-
Felicias are out there?
Well, the subcommittee discussed this and came to a decision. So what was your rationale, and is there any reason to go back and
Well, one of the things we talked about was that we'd get more people to come and learn about it, if they hadn't already looked at it ahead of time. It's their way to find out. And what did you call it, Steve?
Feeling the
Top-down.
onion.
Presentation 101 or something?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That plus the brownies.
Yep.
But now
Okay.
with Felicia's, we see this other piece too, that it could get derailed in the weeds pretty fast.
Paul, anything else regarding the September presentation?
Can I bring up something?
Sure.
We've already had one group. We said we would be able to talk to smaller groups, and we've already had one request somebody come and talk to them. But we don't right now have anybody that they can contact.
That's on the agenda, John Seal. I
Is
just
it?
want to
Okay.
clean
Okay.
up this,
All right.
this
Got it.
event before we move on.
Okay.
Anything else about, from the subcommittee about the rollout date? If not, next thing is the resident council meeting, September 6th. Are the bylaws on the agenda in any way, Jerry, even if only for an announcement to come on Friday?
Well, I haven't written the agenda yet, but they were going to go on it before it goes out.
What do you mean on Friday? Friday,
I misspoke. What I meant was,
Tuesday.
Yeah,
The meeting's on Tuesday. The agenda maybe is coming out on Friday.
tomorrow
what
is
I meant to
Tuesday.
say, what I meant to say is the council meeting will come after the bylaws have been released. Do we want any sort of presence at the council meeting to encourage residents who have questions to reach out and ask for small group meetings? Do we want to do that on the resident council meeting? Is there
That's a
time?
good idea.
And we talked about maybe a motion at the council meeting to recommend the bylaws. So the council officially would be recommending them to residents.
Okay.
do you mean like recommend approval?
Yeah,
Yes,
please vote and vote yes. Yeah,
Okay, so Jerry will be on the agenda.
yes,
Great.
but to remind you, Vassar is first.
Yes.
And I think that's gonna take a minimum of a half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, John Seal, you're on. Campus inquiries.
Well, I was just gonna say, we need to decide who these groups can contact to ask us to come and make a presentation. And we need some volunteers that would be willing to make a presentation.
I think we also need to decide what kind of presentations we're going to do beyond ones that are requested.
You know,
Yeah.
we had talked about phase 3, but we had said, I think that would be in mid-October, probably, you know, a week or two before the election, because they're going to be a harder group for sure, because they're not going to understand resident council or the bylaws or anything else. So it's going to be a much tougher group, I think.
So dealing with John Seal's questions, what kind of presentation, who's going to give them and who's going to get them organized?
Well, is the bylaws committee want to do them all themselves, or do they want to call on some of us? What do you want to do, guys?
well, I think we could use some help.
Yes.
We'd love to have some help.
And are these presentations or after the presentation, are these presented more as Q&A sessions?
I would think
guess one
Q&A.
question.
Yeah.
I would think Q&A as well. Thinking that we do something similar to what we've done before with the bigger sessions, but doing the smaller, more intimate sessions so more people can ask questions and feel comfortable that they got their question answered.
So we might want to do just the same, perhaps brief summary that we would do on Friday, but yeah, think of it as primarily as being not putting people on the spot for a presentation, but more listening and doing Q&A.
Right.
And making it clear that we're not changing them
Yep.
before the vote.
That too.
So how many of those should we have?
We have one request for September the 23rd,
Well,
right?
that's a specific group though, right?
Yes.
What group is that, John Seal?
The Gray and Gay group, I believe, is the
Okay.
name of it.
And Kat and I are quite willing to help out with that one.
we will have various proposals. It's tough. We could cap it, I guess. I mean, I would probably want to do something with Ready Force, maybe. But should we cap it, or should we just be open to requests?
What do you mean cap it?
How many can we handle? How many of these meetings? I guess I would think we should probably just wait and see how many requests we get and keep going until we think we're overwhelmed.
And
Yeah,
maybe you can combine some of the later ones with previously scheduled ones.
I don't know how many there are gonna be because most of the general public who don't have a previous association find it hard to pull them together at the last minute and say, there is no we to we'd like to ask you questions.
Why don't we schedule several reoccurring Q&As in the pack? Half of the pack, and anyone can come with questions.
It's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea. Some regularly scheduled ones, because then people know they can bring their questions.
They can choose one that fits their schedule.
Mhm.
oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And we should do at least one on Zoom for people who, for
Mhm.
whatever reason, can't get to the pack or don't want to get to the pack.
So if we're gonna do it that way, how many?
Well, that's 3,
3.
not counting specific groups. And then if you add in phase 3, that'll be a 4th one.
Just do 3. 3's a good number.
Well,
Do
that's
3,
sort of like one a week,
um,
right?
Yeah, one a week is not. It's why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We've got
that's
the
fine.
people to do it. What, Jerry?
I said that's fine. One a week is great.
But not all at the same time, because of people's schedules.
Mhm.
Yep, moving
Good.
around.
Would
You
somebody
mean
be
different
willing
times
to?
of the day, and
Would somebody be willing to draw up a schedule for weekly gatherings and get it to us for someone to populate them, and then we can put out a flyer or a notice about it?
Hmm.
yeah, I'll set that up.
Okay.
You could have that information by Friday or by the council meeting on Tuesday. That would be good.
Yeah.
I think that maybe our group should get together and make sure that our calendars are clear, since we add Kat and Louise in on that, so that we're sure that we aren't, that we've got people that we've got some of us to cover each one.
Yeah, someone's gonna show up, yeah.
At least one of
So,
you.
yeah, at least one. But
Well,
I think
we're not
probably it'd be better to
gonna
have
all
2.
4 people show up at every meeting. Probably
Pardon?
2 people is plenty.
Yeah. But I think 2 is probably what you want.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because one can be finding something while the other one's answering. So again, I have listed Gay and Gray, 2 Q&As in the pack, 1 Q&A Zoom, and then 1 presentation for phase 3.
How does that square with, we said weekly?
I was just looking at the calendar back here, and if you start with, if we do one, I don't know if we'll do one the week after, or the week of the 4th and 5th after we do the big presentation or not. But let's say we do, and I'm counting Mondays. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we did them every week, starting with the week after this, we'd get them done by the end of September. So we either don't have to do it every week. We might want to space them out so we get some in October closer to the vote. just because people who haven't paid attention might decide, oh, I better do that. So
Well, when are we gonna do phase 3? I thought you were suggesting we do that one a little bit later.
Yeah,
that one,
mid-October we said.
but we've got, how many weeks do we have in October before? So the vote's on the 27th. So we have like 3 weeks in October to play with.
Could we get a couple of people to draw up a calendar?
Well, yeah,
Paul's
I
had-
think our group needs to, because we need to be sure that we've got people who can
Okay.
cover whatever we set up. Do you guys agree with that?
Do a tentative calendar and then like I'll volunteer for a couple of them that I can do. And if everyone else can do that, and then some of them don't have anybody, we can change it. That should work.
The other thing is maybe just go ahead and have 4 in September and then see who's showing up. And if the last one, we know that the attendance is dwindling, the last one could be canceled and say rescheduled for October, because we would want to do, you'd want to do some in October. I just thought of that, you know.
Well,
Well, I think we definitely want to do the phase 3 people in October.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm
Yeah.
talking about just these general ones before phase 3.
Yep.
You know, phase 3 is what, 65 people?
Uh-huh.
So are they all gonna go in one group? And we're assuming they're all free on the same day.
Yeah,
We
I think,
haven't assumed that for anyone else, so maybe we need 2 sessions for phase 3.
right.
I think we need to back off at least 2 presentations into October anyway.
Mhm.
Because we'll pick up some of them on that. So Gay and Greg, well, we can work this out, right? If you guys are just open to that general plan, we can work it out and figure out the tight dates.
Okay.
Yes, if you would
Did
do
you
that,
Steve,
and
or am
then-
I just not seeing him?
bring us the
He
calendar.
had to leave.
Okay. Oh, well, he loses his vote then.
Bring us the calendar on the 12th of September and we'll have a sense of how things are going by then
Okay.
and how curious our audience is.
Okay.
John Seal, does that,
No, that sounds great. I'm fine. Thank you.
okay.
Oh, wait, did we say who that, if groups want to, who they should contact though?
No, we didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't get that question answered.
No,
Yeah.
How about you, John Seal?
Let it be Paul. He's organizing it all.
Well, we have actually working together on this, Cindy, and he's,
Okay, they can contact me. I'm not volunteering for anymore.
no, just to,
Okay, I'll be the contact though. I'll do that.
Right, good.
yeah.
Andre, you have your hand up.
Marilyn, you asked for this calendar on the 12th of September. That means you're not going to be able to announce, I guess you could announce the idea of Q&As without announcing the dates of Q&As. Or did you,
you mean, and to announce it at the resident council meeting?
well, or at Friday's reveal? I think I would, if I'm attending on Friday, I would want to know that there are these opportunities coming up that
Yeah,
I can come ask questions. Now, whether I need to know the exact dates or just the fact that there will be things coming and I will be let in on those dates at some later time. I just was questioning waiting until the 12th to let people know
oh,
when they can get questions answered.
Oh, I think we definitely want to announce on the 2nd that there
Yeah.
will be several more meetings where you can come and ask questions. I got a feeling we're not going to know the dates on the 2nd. So we'll have to say, keep watching your PBXs, talking to your
Yeah.
neighbors.
And maybe we will have some better notion by the 6th. And we can at least get it into the minutes and announce it at the resident council meeting. Or we shoot for that anyway.
Maybe.
maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not sure what's
Yeah.
complex about this, other than those of us affected getting together and checking our calendars while we set dates. Am I missing something?
No, go set some dates. Let us know.
I mean, maybe,
Have
no,
fun.
I'm asking Paul because I mean, we should,
No, it may be possible. I'm just afraid that we'll set a bunch of dates and then, oh, nobody's available that day. Okay, well, then how about this day? Well, so-and-so can do it, but so-and-so can't, and
I'm
Well, pick
sure.
some dates and send them
Friday
out.
will come and we won't have anything definite.
Send them out. I
maybe
think
we
Cindy's
will.
right. Send them out and we can volunteer to be there.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if you had a single location, if that's possible, so that people know where to go.
oh, that may be the hiccup there, is if we do in the pack is getting it clear. That may drive our dates. Darn.
You indicated a desire for a Zoom session. I'm happy to be your Zoom host.
Thank you.
I can help with logistics. I'm not a subject matter expert on bylaws, so I'm tier 2. And Andrea has a question.
Well, I'm just going to offer, the pack had been reserved for choir to start in September, but it's not going to start until October 7th. So there should be a Friday from 10:30 till noon available in the pack starting now,
Perfect.
unless
Great.
it's gotten swept up by something else already.
Also on the phase 3 people, remember they started moving in July.
Right.
You may want to scoop up the last wave of people mid-October,
Right.
but phase 3 people could come to any of the sessions.
Yeah.
It's not limited to they don't have to wait until
Right.
October. So I don't know that I would advertise it as imply that it's just for them, but just say
Right.
last chance opportunity to get Q&A. We'll reach out to the recent move-ins in phase 3, plus any of the rest of you who now would like to think about this before the vote.
Right.
Call it a box-free experience.
Okay, so can we assume that these decisions will be made by a week from tomorrow at the resident council meeting?
Well, it
Right.
sounds like they're trying to get them done to have a flyer on the 2nd.
Well, perfect.
Yes?
That's what I'm saying, the 2nd.
When we present. Yeah.
I meant this,
Resident council is the 6th.
yes.
The rollout meeting is the 2nd.
Yes.
Obviously, if we can do the 2nd, we will.
Yeah.
Okay, great,
How about that?
perfect. Okay, moving on. Just backing up a little bit, we didn't talk about a cover sheet. At some point, you guys suggested a one-page cover sheet. Is that going to happen? And if so, is that available separately? What do you want? Where does that stand?
Well, the cover sheet is right here on the bylaws that have been sent out, and
So that's a one-page summary?
that's a one-page summary. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
that's done.
All right, then. Ongoing publicity. RV chat, PDX, we've talked about special events. Is there anything else to be talked about in terms of how you want to get this stuff publicized?
Susan wearing a sandwich board.
Well, I want to say this is the place where the rest of CommComm should weigh in, because this doesn't require expertise on the bylaws. It's how to, this is our communications.
Susan, if you're up for it, I'm serious. Phase 3 people have never seen you walking around with a sandwich board yet. So
They
it'll
have.
Oh, they have?
They have blueberry sales. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
we'll
happy
catch the ones
to
who haven't.
supply my body for the cause.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that reminds me though, is there anything, would it be a consideration to find someone with an artistic bent to to put posters up of, vote for the bylaws and put them on in community spaces, just like, when you put posters up for political things, only this isn't the same thing, but like when you're running for high school class president or something.
Well, how many need to be made?
I don't know.
I mean, that could be a lot. We have a lot of places on this campus.
And Roseville, they do not like posters and things going up on their walls in unappointed places.
Okay, well, it was just a thought to have some visuals to keep people thinking about it.
Well, you had some nice visuals on that thing I saw.
What?
You had some icons on something I saw. Yeah.
I think it would be nice to have a little burst of reminder around election time. 2-3 days ahead, like, oh, we've been talking about this for week after week after week. Now you need to show up and vote. Or do an absentee and vote. So just that nudging reminder, because
Who's going to organize the ballots and stuff?
Haven't decided yet. So there's got to be an election committee, I guess. We've got an election committee for counselors. There's no definitive election committee for bylaws. So we could just do an ad hoc.
it's really important for us to understand the absentee thing so that we are giving out accurate information about if you can't attend this meeting, here's how you can still vote.
How about resident services desk? I'm sure they'll give them out for us. You're looking quizzical, Louise.
Louise is muted.
I didn't understand what you said. I'm sorry.
What I'm suggesting is that to get absentee ballots, we could ask
I'm gonna
resident
need a
services
Zoom, Felicia, I'll
desk
have to call you back.
to help with that.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Remember, resident services is only open business hours during the week. If there's any exchange of things, that's a barrier.
Well, other than that, which of us is open?
How was this done in the past?
Well, bylaw vote is different than,
Yeah,
Well-
last time was 5 years ago. Who was here in 2017?
Well, I mean, the actual process of voting and getting ballots is different from doing it for the annual votes.
I don't think it's been mentioned.
there's
And I
something,
think we did all absentee ballots last year.
there are requirements for how far in advance the thing must go out and how they're collected. There's some rules that we should follow, we should be aware of. Well, we, resident council.
I
For
think that
this one,
Yeah,
for
there are.
bylaws, is that in the
Yeah, you
current?
want to probably get a committee ready to focus on that soon.
I think one suggestion might be that on the ballots that people have to put their apartment number, because in the past we've had some concern about people voting twice or 3 times or 4 times. I don't know that they have, but I know some people were concerned about the way that ballots were just, you could just go up and ask resident services for another ballot and vote however you wanted to and turn it in. And you could have done that many times if you wanted to, actually.
or they could
Cindy.
just sign on the envelope.
Well, something, so we don't,
Something.
so
Yeah.
we have some degree of safety from getting multiple ballots.
Okay, but if you do absentee plus in person, what's to keep a person from doing an absentee ballot and then coming to the meeting and voting in person as well? So if personally, I really favor doing it all by paper ballots, but that's just me.
So you're saying no absentee ballots, just all by,
I'm saying all absentee, all by ballot, all by paper.
all by
The
paper?
existing bylaws say a written ballot vote of not less than 2/3 of the association members present shall be required.
Yeah, but I'm looking at Council Procedures Manual, OP 2204. And that talks about, let's see, the election date shall be, this is the general election. So each member of the association shall be notified of the election date by preferred communication method. And then whether they will be whether they've specified with resident services, whether they want email or paper. Flyers will be posted. Okay. And
Louise,
yeah,
that's general election,
yeah,
not the bylaws.
but they don't have anything in here about the bylaws.
Right, so we can do what
Do
we
we do
want.
what we
So we can
want?
do what we want? Okay. All right.
I would like to
Cindy.
suggest that we do it in person. Because, yeah, that's my suggestion. But do we want a committee to work out these details? If we have time yet, a committee can come back to us with a detailed plan.
I was just gonna ask Cindy if, as vice chairman, she would like to take this on.
To do what?
Chair the election committee and make it so, however you want to make it.
The election committee for the bylaws?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, but okay.
and you can start pinpointing people other than me.
And Cindy, if you could pull that, well,
Because I do think people who can't get there in person should have an opportunity to do. Yeah, all right. I'll take it offline.
No, I think so too, actually. And in the end, if we're gonna count the ballots anyway, maybe we'll just have a list where we check off names as we get a ballot. And if one gets 2 checks, then we'll know they voted twice.
Yeah,
I do think, though, John Seal's suggestion that they put their apartment number on it is a good one.
it's
Mhm.
great.
You know, at least I don't know about the rest of you, my handwriting gets worse as I get older. And I don't think you could read that it was my name if I sign it without printing it.
Well, hopefully we can distinguish Judy from Paul. And other
Oh,
than
you can't read his at all. He has a professional.
the
No, it's-
apartment numbers should do.
But, it is hard to read people's names. So apartment number would
On
be
the
the way-
absentee and on the same day ballots, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, Cindy, do you want to draw anybody else into this committee? And do you think you can get back to us by mid-September, the 12th?
Oh, let me just try it. I don't think it needs another person, but I'll run it by people, see if they like it.
thank you, Cindy.
Okay. Anything else at this point for the good of the order?
I don't think so.
All right.
I have a request though, since I took this on. Can I go to the phase 3 meeting? I want to start meeting those new people.
Didn't we decide there was no phase 3 meeting that anybody could go?
What?
Yeah,
We decided that there was gonna be no specified phase 3 meeting. that
I know,
anyone
but
could
all
go.
right, all right. Okay.
So
but
you
if
can
there's-
go to all the meetings if you want, Cindy.
is it?
I
I don't have any idea of what the lounge looks like there in phase 3. Would it be would it be possible to hold a meeting there?
We
Absolutely.
simply don't know when it is available to book. We have been unsuccessful in getting an answer about when can we book that room.
What about that 3rd floor place? That's beautiful and the weather should still be nice.
What
Can't
third
count on
floor?
it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 4th floor, you know, the deck.
Oh, up there.
Riverview Terrace.
We have time to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I would like to question the assumption that there shouldn't be a special meeting for phase 3 because
That
Phase
was not my
three-
intent. That was not the intent of my comment. I'm just saying that some of these people having moved in July would go to the other sessions.
Right,
And
I-
yes, there be one in late October, mid-October, to scoop up the last wave of people who had no opportunity to go to the earlier ones.
So I
Yes,
guess
I-
the question is, what do we call it?
I think we should call it just one more meeting to take Q&A, but at least if possible, hold it in the lounge over there.
Schroeder.
So that it's convenient for phase 3 people, and they're more likely to show up in that case, but
Well, I
everybody's
think-
welcome,
I think-
and that will actually be a draw for other people who want to come and see the lounge.
I
Yeah.
think also probably a point Marilyn was likely to make is they are newer to the campus. And so that session could be different in terms of, hey, this is the resident council, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there's value there, and that wouldn't hurt anybody else who wants to come to that final meeting to get that kind of overview as well. So in the explanation, it could be focus on recent move-ins from phase 3, greater overview on what resident council does.
that's exactly what I would suggest. I mean, there are current residents who don't know the difference between the foundation, the board of directors, and the resident council. Let alone new people. So
And some of them would know the difference after the meeting.
There is that. You just tell them how you want them to vote.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Put a pen in their hand and boom.
so it's
Susan,
a great opportunity to educate people and
No,
bring
I'm
them
in a meeting.
into the community governance process.
What are your messages?
Susan, who are you contacting to try and
Okay, bye.
schedule that main area in Schroeder? The ground floor.
We contact any of the resident services staff to book any spaces. For example, we have the drop-in Q&A for new residents. We're in the art room now. The intention is as soon as the Schroeder Loft Rec Room, that's its title, is available to be booked, we will switch there. Someone else tried to book something for that space and they said, we can't tell you when it's available. We don't know. They don't know when that's going to be finished and ready to
Okay.
occupy.
Okay, so maybe one needs to go a level higher. What?
Sorry,
Do you know about the deck, the view deck, whatever they call it?
the pace setters had an event up there.
Right.
It
It
had been
was beautiful.
scheduled quite a while ago. It was, in fact, I heard Cheryl say the building should have been open for a month by the time they had that event. And of course, opening has slid. They allowed them to do it, but I noticed there were workers up there today.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't think they would probably, other than the foundation, let
An
it,
outdoor venue is not
Risky.
ideal for education.
No.
it's risky.
Not
And-
in mid-October, okay.
And that feels like a restaurant setting up there. It has tables and chairs. And it's just packed.
Okay,
It's not like a meeting venue. You'd have to rearrange
okay.
a lot.
Okay, folks, we will see you all on Friday. And then again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And good luck. Good luck. Don't ask any
Thank you.
impertinent questions. Only good questions.
If anyone has big ideas about how the vote should go, send it to me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna make it up by myself.
It
Cindy,
should pass, Cindy.
What?
It should pass.
Yeah, you're only accepting yes votes.
Of course.
I think you should mimic or parallel the process for the officers, maybe not in as much detail, but you don't want to confuse people.
Right.
You do
I
something
think so, too.
wildly different for two events that are 2 weeks apart. But I thought we were supposed to do that. Well, I thought we could do that. Try to make it similar.
Okay.
And
Cindy,
then,
I'd be happy to
Good
work with you
point,
on that.
Susan.
Okay. I'll run it by Marilyn.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we are disbanded.
Thank you.
I came in 3 minutes late. Did you talk about the HG mixer?
Yes. You want to hang on? Well, are you,
Sure.
I'll see you at 4, right?
That's in
Yeah,
3 minutes.
I thought we weren't meeting this week, but I guess we are.
Apparently we are. That's what I've been told.
Okay.
All right, see y'all.
Bye.
Fine.
Hmm.